Alright, this skit is called, we always call it for the kids, the Prince and the Pickle, but in reality, it's the Princess and the Pickle, but because it involves a mix-up in costumes that we actually already know about, but we're trying to play off to the kids. So what you do is during dinner, you need to talk to the teachers. It's usually great if you can get a male teacher or chaperone to do this part, but really good to let them know ahead of time that they might have to wear a dress. That way you can find out if they're okay with that or not. So make sure to approach them at dinner, make sure they can keep it under wraps and sort of go with the flow of the skit that you're doing. So it's also an audience participation skit, and I'll show you the kinds of sounds we'll have the audience be making. So we'll imagine that we're starting the skit right now. Alright guys, this is the Prince and the Pickle skit. So I do have a volunteer that I spoke with earlier at dinner, and could you come up for us? You're going to be our big manly prince. This is the Prince and the Pickle skit, so give him a big round of applause for our manly prince. And I do have a prince costume for you. So Sarah, can you go run and get that backpack that Sarah, packed your costume in a backpack and we brought down for you. So she's just going to go run and get that. And thank you, Sarah. All right. So we've got in here, we should have your nice shield and Sarah. This is not a prince costume.
I grabbed the wrong one. Oh, I guess you're just gonna have to do the other one.
Jacob, would you mind? We seem to have a costume mix-up, but would you mind being the princess for us tonight?
All right, I guess I do have 3 sisters.
So, could you maybe just, you could slip into this, or just, put it over your arms. That way, Sarah, I cannot believe you grabbed the wrong backpack.
I'm sorry.
So we're just going to make a little adjustment. This is now going to be the Princess and the Pickle skit, and, let's see here. All right. Okay, well, we've got this too. So maybe I can have you put that on.
I think there's
and,
some leaves in here.
That's getting better. Okay, maybe you can add that to the ensemble. And if you're gonna be a princess, maybe a little wand here too for you. All right, so thank you so much for being such a great volunteer.
Anything I can do.
All right, so we're gonna go with this. It's the Princess and the Pickle skit, and I'm not only gonna need the help of our princess, I'm gonna need the help of you, the audience. So basically in this story, there's a whole bunch of different sound effects. I'm gonna show you what those are now, and when I say the word, you've gotta make those sound effects. So of course, the first sound effect was gonna be for our prince, who is now our princess, Sarah. So whenever I say the word princess, would you mind giving me maybe like a little hubba hubba?
Hubba hubba.
There we go, excellent. So that's gonna be our princess
Hubba hubba.
sound, excellent. So the audience, if you can help me out, we have a king in this story. So whenever I say king, dun 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 dun, dun dun dun. And when I say proclamation, hear ye, hear ye.
Hear ye, hear ye.
We've also got horses, and we've got sword fights. Ching, 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 ching. We have a dragon, rawr.
Rawr.
And we have good nights, yeah. And we have bad nights.
Ooh.
And there's a couple more, but we'll get to those as the story goes along. So the story goes like this. One day in a kingdom far, far away, there was a king, dun, 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 and his lovely princess.
Hubba hubba.
And of course, there was also a very mean dragon.
Rawr.
And the very mean dragon, rawr, possibly want. And so all the good knights rode off on their horses to the lair of the dragon. And when they got there, a sword fight ensued. Ching, 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 ching. And all the good knights died. So, of course, when they did not come back with a lovely princess, the king sent out another proclamation. Hear ye, hear ye. And he said, all right, this time, all you bad knights, if you can rescue my lovely princess from the dragon, then I will give you anything that your heart can desire. So all the bad knights rode off on their horses to the lair of the dragon. And a sword fight ensued. Ching, 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 ching. And all the bad knights died. So, of course, when the bad knights did not come back with the lovely princess, the king was very distraught. He was crying on his throne because his lovely princess was not in the castle to keep him company. So he sent out another proclamation. Hear ye, hear ye. And this time it was to anyone in the land. He said, if anyone in the land can bring back my lovely princess, I will give you anything that your heart desires. And so the king sat on his throne and he waited for someone to come and rescue his lovely princess. And one day he heard a knock on the door, and he went to the door and he opened the door. And there was no one there. So he closed the door. There we go. He went back to his throne, he sat down, and waited. And he heard another knock on the door. And he went to the door, and he opened the door, and he looked around, and he didn't see anyone, but he heard something. He heard a little so can I hear a little And he looked down, and sure enough, there was a pickle. And for pickles, we're going to go like this. And he said, did you just cough at me, Pickle?
Why, yes, I did,
Said the pickle.
I would like to rescue your lovely princess.
So, the king said, okay, go ahead and rescue my lovely princess. So, the pickle rode off on his horse, tiny horse, to the lair of the dragon, where a sword fight ensued.
Tiny sword.
And the pickle survived. He had killed the dragon. And so the pickle and the princess rode off on the pickle's tiny horse back to the castle, where the king was so overjoyed that he said, oh, pickle, what would you like in this kingdom? Because as I promised, I will give you anything that your heart could possibly desire. And you know what the pickle said? The pickle said,
All I really want is your lovely princess.
so the princess